Every masterpiece has a shadow, and for Season 6, the shadow takes the shape of endless obstacles. On screen, the world looks seamless, but behind the curtain, every detail fights to exist. The rain that falls in a stormy scene doesn't come from the sky. It comes from carefully rigged machines that clog, leak, or sometimes collapse under pressure. A sword meant to gleam under perfect lighting turns dull under the camera's glare, forcing the crew to polish, repaint, and adjust between takes. A set wall, towering and magnificent to the audience, shakes under the strain of cables and scaffolding when the crew steps away. Nothing is as effortless as it looks. Schedules tighten like ropes. Time becomes the enemy. Actors prepare for a climactic scene. But just as emotions reach their peak, a bulb bursts overhead, throwing everything into darkness. Hours of work pause as electricians scramble, tools clattering on the floor, the room tense with silence. A single lost hour ripples across the production, threatening days of planning. Everyone knows it, but nobody gives up. Instead, the crew rallies, pushing harder, faster, finding solutions that weren't in the plan, but now carry the weight of saving the day. The weather, too, becomes a stubborn character in its own right. Outdoor shoots demand skies that listen. But nature has no script. Sunlight burns too bright. Shadows fall in the wrong direction, or sudden gusts of wind topple carefully built props. The team waits, sometimes for hours, staring at clouds, willing them to move. And when the perfect moment comes, it lasts only seconds. A window the crew must capture before it vanishes. What makes these challenges unique isn't just the struggle, but the transformation of struggle into art. The crew doesn't see broken props, late nights, or weather delays as failures. They see them as battles that must be won quietly so the audience never notices. That is the invisible victory of production. The ability to bend chaos into order, to turn accidents into magic, and to hide every scar so that the story shines untouched. Season 6 is not built on ease. It is built on resilience. Every setback becomes a story. Every flaw a hidden lesson. Every challenge a secret that stays locked behind the camera. And when the audience finally watches the polished scenes, they will never know the storms that raged behind the screen. They will only feel the power of a world that looks effortless, crafted by hands that fought every second to make it real. A single object can carry the weight of 1,000 questions. A candle flickers in the dark, its flame bending as though it knows a secret. A door creaks open to a room you've never seen before, but something about it feels unsettlingly familiar. A hand, gloved in shadow, rests on an object that the audience has been waiting years to see again, only to let it go just as quickly. These are not answers. They are fragments, whispers meant to awaken curiosity. The magic of a sneak peek lies not in showing, but in suggesting. For Season 6, the creators have carefully chosen which pieces of the world to reveal. A weapon wrapped in cloth, resting silently against a wall. A pair of boots leaving footprints across a deserted street. A torn page from a journal, words half legible as if daring the viewer to lean closer. Each glimpse is designed like a puzzle piece, but the box cover is missing. Fans will try to fit them together, but the picture they form will always remain incomplete until the season unfolds. Sound plays its role in this mystery as well. You might hear the distant toll of a bell, low and heavy, echoing as though warning of something inevitable. A line of dialogue, barely audible, slips through the background. Not clear enough to identify the speaker, but sharp enough to spark endless theories. Silence is a clue too. Long pauses, the absence of music, the way the camera lingers on an object too long. It all suggests that what you've seen is not random, but deliberate. What makes these hints unique is that they are not just teasers for the plot. They are signals of the season's heartbeat. A candle does not simply mean darkness. It means fragility. A torn journal page is not only a clue, it is a reminder of memory, of history, of voices that refuse to fade. Each hint reflects the deeper themes the season will explore: truth and deception, memory and forgetting, power and vulnerability. The creators want the audience not just to wonder what happens next, but to feel the weight of the questions before the answers arrive. And so, the sneak peeks do not promise clarity. They promise something better: mystery. The kind that lingers in your chest long after the screen goes black. The kind that keeps you awake at night, replaying fragments in your mind, asking yourself if you missed something hidden in the shadows. Season 6 is not only about the story you'll see, it's about the secrets you'll chase. The journey behind the curtain ends here, but only for now. You have seen fragments, glimpses of sketches that turn into worlds, sets that breathe like living characters, actors who give themselves over to the story, and the relentless work of a crew that bends chaos into order. Every shot, every sound, every detail carries the weight of thousands of hours. And yet what you've witnessed is only the surface. The true storm, the story itself, still waits, sealed inside Season 6. There is something almost sacred about this moment. To see a story before it becomes a story is to witness its heartbeat, raw and unpolished. You've walked through shadows of halls that will soon echo with voices, touched objects that will soon hold meaning, and seen faces hidden in the blur of preparation. You've stood where imagination meets discipline, where dreams wrestle against deadlines, where mistakes shape miracles. This is the rare space between creation and completion, and you have been allowed inside, but the mystery is far from over. The real questions remain unanswered. What secrets hide within the flicker of that candle? Who does that shadowed hand belong to? What does that torn page reveal? And what does it leave unsaid? These are not just teasers, they are promises. Promises that Season 6 will not only continue the journey you've followed, but redefine it. Promises that the emotions waiting just beyond the frame will be deeper, sharper, and unforgettable. And so, as the music swells and the screen begins to fade, one truth remains. This is only the beginning. The story is waiting, the world is ready, and soon you will step into Season 6, not as a viewer, but as a witness to something larger, something built from sweat, vision, and imagination. Stay close. The wait is almost over. Subscribe, follow, and prepare yourself, because the first inside look was only a whisper. The roar of Season 6 is coming. The cameras are rolling, the lights are blazing, and something extraordinary is taking shape. For the very first time, you're stepping into the hidden world behind Season 6. What you're about to see isn't the polished final cut. It's the heartbeat of creation, the raw energy that transforms ideas into reality. This is your inside look at how stories are built before they ever reach your screen. The 6th season is not just another continuation. It's the turning of a page into a whole new chapter. With every season, the show has grown bigger, bolder, and more ambitious. But Season 6 carries a weight unlike any before it. This is the moment where everything built so far collides with new visions, new risks, and fresh emotions. Behind the curtain, there's a restless hum, a quiet storm of energy that moves through every corner of the set. It's not just the actors who bring the story alive. It's the designers sketching late at night, the builders hammering away in the early morning, the writers rewriting scenes until the dialogue feels like lightning on paper. Every part of the team, from the smallest detail in costume stitching to the vast set pieces rising on sound stages, is working in harmony to create something unforgettable. But why does Season 6 matter so much? Because the audience has been waiting. Every unanswered question, every cliffhanger, every whisper of mystery has built up to this moment. Fans are expecting answers, revelations, and surprises that will outshine anything seen before. The creators know this, and they are determined to deliver not just another season, but a landmark in the show's journey. To them, Season 6 is not a continuation. It's a promise kept, a chance to push the story into uncharted territory while still honoring everything that came before. As cameras follow the crew through shadowed sets and echoing halls, the scale of preparation becomes clear. Walls are painted, props are tested, and lighting rigs swing into place like pieces of an enormous puzzle. Every detail is treated like it holds the power to change the mood of a scene, because in truth, it does. the smallest reflection of light on glass, the faintest echo of footsteps on stone, the quiet rustle of fabric as a character enters the frame. These details are what transform simple storytelling into a world the audience believes in. And Season 6 aims to be more than believable. It aims to be breathtaking. What's being built here is not just entertainment. It is a living, breathing experience. An experience that grips the viewer and pulls them inside, where reality blurs with imagination. This is where the journey begins, inside the very heart of Season 6. It all begins long before the cameras ever turn on, before a single line is spoken, before costumes are sewn, before sets rise out of empty stages. There are ideas. Season 6 was born not from one mind, but from a room filled with sparks. Writers tossing out fragments of dialogue, directors sketching arrows across whiteboards, artists splashing color into rough designs that will one day become the landscapes you see on screen. It looks chaotic at first, a storm of papers, boards, and half-finished thoughts. But hidden in that chaos is the pulse of a clear vision, to take the story further than it has ever gone, without losing the heart that made fans fall in love from the very beginning. This season, the creators are chasing something bigger than plot twists. They want emotion carved into every frame. They want scenes that linger long after the credits fade, lines of dialogue that echo in the back of the mind, and images that feel almost too real to be fiction. To get there, the team reimagines the very core of what the show can be. Concept art spills across tables, skies painted in colors that don't quite exist in reality, costumes designed to show the hidden truths of the characters who wear them, and set sketches that stretch the imagination into vast worlds that feel both ancient and futuristic. What makes this creative vision unique is the way it blends contrasts, light and shadow, silence and noise, fragility and power. The writers wanted Season 6 to breathe differently, to feel like every moment carries weight. You'll see hints of past seasons threaded carefully into the new material, like secret echoes reminding you of where the story began. But at the same time, the visuals and themes stretch forward into unexplored territory, daring the audience to follow into a future that feels uncertain, thrilling, and alive. Every choice, the angle of a shot, the texture of a wall, even the color of a single piece of fabric, was made with purpose. Nothing here is random. Each decision is part of a larger picture, a design so carefully planned that by the time you see it, you'll feel as though you've stepped into another world without realizing how you got there. That is the magic of the creative vision driving Season 6. Not just to tell a story, but to create an experience that refuses to let you go. The world of Season 6 doesn't begin on the screen. It begins in silence. Empty stages echo with footsteps, and what looks at first like nothing more than wood, paint, and steel gradually becomes something far greater. Walls are not just walls here. They are portals. A single archway might lead into a palace, while a corridor lined with props can turn into a battlefield with just the right lighting. What seems ordinary to the eye is transformed into something unforgettable by the combined touch of hundreds of hands, each one shaping a small piece of the universe you'll soon explore. The set is more than decoration. It's a living character in its own right. The production team treats every surface, every shadow, every carefully placed object as though it has a story to tell. A cracked vase on a table might whisper of betrayal. The peeling paint on a door might carry decades of untold history. Even the arrangement of chairs in a room can speak volumes about power, distance, or unspoken tension between characters. These are not background details. They are silent storytellers, and in Season 6, they speak louder than ever before. World building here is not only visual, it's sensory. Imagine the faint smell of old leather stitched into costumes, the creak of wooden boards under a character's steps, or the chill of metal when a hand rests against a door that hides secrets. The crew layers these textures carefully so that when viewers watch, they don't just see a world, they feel it. Nothing is left to chance. A cobblestone path isn't just painted. It's weathered and worn until it looks like countless journeys have already been taken across it. A bookshelf isn't stocked randomly. Each title is chosen with care. hinting at histories and secrets you might never notice on the first watch. What makes this world-building unique is how invisible it becomes once the story unfolds. You don't stop to think about the way the torchlight flickers across stone or how the shadows bend in a hallway, but your mind absorbs it. Subconsciously, you believe in it. That's the power of the set. It creates belief. And when Season 6 finally unfolds on screen, the world will feel so complete, so alive, that you'll forget you're watching fiction. You'll feel as though you've stepped into a place that was waiting for you all along. Before the cameras catch a single scene, there is a quieter performance happening, one the audience will never fully see, but one that shapes every second of the story. Behind closed doors, in rehearsal rooms with dim lighting and scripts scattered across tables, the cast of Season 6 begins their transformation. They arrive not as characters but as themselves, uncertain, curious, sometimes even nervous, and then piece by piece, they surrender to the story. Preparation here isn't just about memorizing lines. It's about carrying the weight of an entire world. A script may look like ink on paper, but in their hands, those words become living emotions. An argument scribbled in dialogue turns into a clash that feels personal. A whispered confession on the page transforms into something that makes the air heavy with tension. Actors practice alone, pacing through hallways, murmuring phrases under their breath, until they no longer sound like recitations but truths they've always carried. The process is physical too. Bodies are trained to move with intention. Every gesture, every pause, every turn of the head must reflect the soul of a character. Some actors practice movements in silence, repeating them again and again until they're no longer conscious choices, but instinctive reactions. Others break into laughter mid-rehearsal, using humor to ease the pressure before sinking back into intensity. There are no spotlights here, no applause, only the steady work of becoming someone else entirely. What makes Season 6 unique is the way its cast carries a sense of legacy. Many of them are returning, haunted by the past journeys of their characters. They know the weight of every decision, every scar carried forward from earlier seasons. New cast members, meanwhile, step into this universe like explorers entering sacred ground, tasked with leaving their own mark without disturbing what came before. Together they form a strange and beautiful balance. Veterans and newcomers feeding off each other's energy, building a tapestry of emotion that will soon unfold on screen. And though their faces remain hidden from this first look, their presence is undeniable. You see it in the way they clutch a script with trembling hands, in the faint sound of a breath drawn before delivering a line, in the restless pacing that fills a rehearsal room. You may not see their eyes, but you feel their fire. This is the unseen heartbeat of Season 6. The cast preparing, shaping, and breathing life into a story that would remain only words without them.